to Awaken the Dream. This is a program for everyone who has ever whispered to themselves, "Is it too late? Do I still have a chance?"
Maybe life got in the way. Maybe you've been told you're too old, too young, too broke, too tired.
Maybe you've even told yourself these things.
But here's the truth. Your dream doesn't have an expiration date. This program was created to remind you and to show you that no matter what your age or stage in life, it's never too late to awaken the dream inside you. Each episode will sit down with remarkable people, ordinary people just like you and me, who faced obstacles, setbacks, even heartbreak, but refused to let go of what was inside them. Some had to take the long road, others had to fight through doubt, and some discovered that dreams don't die. They just wait for the right season to come alive again. Take Betty, for example. She spent her life as a career hairdresser, faithfully serving her clients. And then, at the age of 72, when many thought she should be slowing down, Betty opened her very own salon. Her story reminds us that it's never too late to put your name on the door. Or Robbie, who at 89 is still going strong, leading the organization she launched a few years ago, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. The mission of GSFE is to empower, inspire, and connect women so that they can become successful entrepreneurs and enjoy fulfilling, productive, and abundant lives. Robbie's personal mantra is stop making excuses. Robbie proves that energy and passion don't fade with age, they expand with purpose. Then there's Cole. At 15, his dream of being a runner was cut short when cancer put him in a wheelchair. But instead of giving up, Cole decided to train his mind. Inspired by mentors like Jim Rohn, he built a foundation of personal growth and positive outlook that carried him through the disappointments of life. Now, in his 40s, he shares a story of resilience and overcoming that you won't forget. And Otis, his dream was to publish a tabletop photography book. He was well on his way. He already had started his collection of beautiful black and white images of people in the African country he visited when the door unexpectedly closed. The project collapsed. But years later, he found a new way forward. He repurposed that dream, and today he holds the book he once thought was lost forever. These are just a few of the voices you'll hear on Awaken the Dream. And in between their stories, we'll tackle the questions that weigh on so many hearts. Am I too old? Is it too late? Where will I get the resources? What if I fail? We'll talk with experts who can help you navigate those doubts, give you strategies to plan your way forward, and most importantly, help you rediscover that spark of possibility that has always been inside of you. Because here's the truth. Dreams don't retire, passion doesn't age, and potential doesn't have a deadline. Every stage of life can be the beginning of something extraordinary. And sometimes it takes hearing the right story at the right time to unlock the courage to take your next step. So if you've ever felt like giving up, or if you've wondered if your dream is too far gone, I want you to stay with us. Each episode, you'll find encouragement, inspiration, and practical wisdom to help you move forward.
And here's something special. Every episode of Awaken the Dream will include a creative challenge that you can do right at home.
Why? Because isn't just about art, it's about unlocking possibility. It's about sparking new ideas, shaking off old limits, and opening your mind to fresh solutions. These activities are simple, practical, and fun, but don't underestimate them. They're designed to wake up your imagination and get your momentum flowing toward your dream. Think of them as little jump starts, something extra you can do to move from inspiration into action. Because dreaming isn't just about watching or listening, it's about engaging, creating, and moving forward. So as you watch each episode, be ready. At the end, you'll have a creative challenge waiting for you, something to stir your imagination, strengthen your courage, and get you up and going towards your dream.
This is your season. This is your moment. It's time to awaken your dream.
I didn't just open a salon, I opened a new chapter of my life.
Dreams have no expiration date. And for Betty, the dream of owning her own salon wasn't just a passing thought. It was a vision planted in her heart decades ago. At 72, when most consider slowing down, Betty was just getting started. This is more than a salon. It's the realization of a lifelong calling.
I've been licensed as a hairstylist for 51 years, and I've been working full time as a hairstylist for about 40 to 45 of those years. So I've been doing it for a little while. I enjoy it. I love learning and just love seeing women enhance their own beauty.
Every stroke of color, every image tells a story, just like Betty's journey to this moment.
In June of this year, I turned 72, and I don't feel like a 72-year-old. I still have a lot of energy. I love what I do, and to be honest with you, I believe a lot of my strength comes from my relationship with God.
For Betty, the salon was more than just a career move. It was a promise, one that started many years ago.
I've always wanted to own my own salon, but it all started many, many years ago. My sons were real young, and I remember I had a dream of me having my own salon. And it's funny because this salon is somewhat set up like what was in that dream. And it was something that I desired in my heart to always do. I just never knew when or how it was going to come about, but it was something that's been in me, and I've talked about my dreams to a couple of people and what I wanted to do. And I decided when my kids were young, I said, well, maybe this will be a good time. They're young, but unfortunately I ended up going through a divorce, and so I became a single parent, and so it wasn't in God's timing.
Opportunities came and went, but Betty trusted in God's timing.
There were many opportunities that did arise for me to open a salon, but it just really didn't feel like it was in God's timing. And it wasn't until maybe in 2019 that I sensed, well, really 2018, that I sensed God was saying, it's time for you to own your own salon.
Betty believes that dreams don't fade. They wait for the right moment to bloom. And when that moment came, she stepped forward in faith.
And why it took so long, I have no clue. But one thing I did not do is give up on my dream. And I tell people the dreams and the visions that you have, a lot of times God has placed them in you. And so even though sometimes it seemed discouraging or disappointing, I had to hold on to God and trust Him that it was going to happen. And I just feel regardless of what age you are, God will promise to fulfill that dream in your life. And as a matter of fact, in 2018, there was a company that approached me about a building that they were going to build, and they wanted it to be a center that centered around health, because there was like a health club right there on the property. So they were going to build something else. And so usually I would ignore things like that, but God said, don't you turn away from this. And so I went forward and I met with the lady. We talked. I had a friend to go with me for us to pray over the space and the land, and the lady agreed to the prayer. And so I said, okay. And the lady said, we'll be getting in contact with you. And I didn't hear from them, so I called her, and she said, oh, well, there'll be some changes. We'll let you know what those changes are. And to this day, I never heard from her. And I go, well, why would God put me through all of that and nothing happened, even for the financing and different things that, they were talking about doing and taking place. And what it boiled down to, God wanted me, first of all, not to be afraid to step forward, even though it looked like I didn't have the financial resources to do it. And second of all, is to be obedient to what He told me to do. And so, yeah, like I said, there were reservations, but I always wanted to make sure that I trust God, that He will do what He said He's going to do.
And step forward she did. Despite challenges, Betty pushed through, turning obstacles into stepping stones.
Okay, why are you doing it at this time? And it was another hairstylist, because, she and I are in the same age bracket, anywhere from 70 to 75. And she said, why would you do it at this time? I said, why not do it at this time? And as a matter of fact, she's one of the ladies that work here, and she said, okay, if you're bold enough to do that, because I'm not a mover, she said, I'm coming with you.
Challenges arose, but nothing could shake her faith.
The challenges that I did have is one company that I ordered my furniture from, and it was a little aggravating because they tried to claim it was for COVID, that they couldn't bring my stuff upstairs. Well, yeah, they could. It was an elevator. They could have dropped it off right there. It could have been, just dragging. I had to go hire somebody to bring my stuff up. And, one of my brothers showed up to help him with it. I did have someone to put my cabinets for the storage for the hairstylist, and he messed up one of them, so I have to order a new cabinet. And it was because at the end he started rushing, and I'm like, oh no, you can't do this. So for the most part, it wasn't that bad, but those were the only two serious challenges that I had that, turned out to be, in the end, turned out okay.
And through it all, Betty's passion never wavered.
Doing my job, I have not had health issues. Every now and then, the doctor would say my hands, could bother me, but I don't let it stop me. And because I believe this is a profession that God chose for me. And for whatever reason, to bless women, to be able to share the gospel, or to say, okay, Lord, it's okay to bring Jesus in the marketplace, because it's not a safe thing to do right now, or any time really. But as far as any physical health issues with doing my job, no. A few years ago, I did get sick, but that was from a health condition called diverticulitis, and so I ended up having to have surgery for that. But it was a blessing because after 6 or 7 weeks, I was able to go back to work, and I haven't had any challenges or issue. But one thing I did do, and I sensed that God was telling me that to trust Him more in my finances because of the words that I've been speaking over my business and my finances, is that I don't have to work as long as I was before. I don't work late. Sometimes I would be at work until 9 o'clock at night, and God said, no more. You won't keep those hours no more. And I'm kind of liking that, and I'm still able to, be busy and still be able to function and do what I need to do regarding this business.
What advice does she have for someone who may be hesitant about moving forward because of their age?
First of all, you need to turn off the voices of the world, because the world dictates that when we get a certain age, we should be retiring or doing this or doing that. And that's fine if people want to retire. I'm not knocking retirement. But if you have a desire in your heart to do something, regardless of your age, go forward and do it. If we ever go back and read the Word of God, God used people in their old age, their young age, their old age. There was not a limit that God had on people being in the ministry or people working. There was not a limit. Only the world has put a limit on what you should do. Well, I've even heard it in the church. Well, we need to let the young people start doing that. But God gave us instructions, and He told us as older people to teach the young. And if we're saying, oh, let them do it and don't give them any instructions, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to hear the voice of God. These are the things that we should be sharing and teaching them. So I'm just saying to people, just because you're 60, 70, 80, I just saw something on a 92-year-old woman that's a hairstylist, and she's still doing hair. And their customers are laughing. She doesn't have a lot of customers, but she still have customers coming to her. And that blessed me to let people know, you know what, it's okay if this is something you want to do. Without feeling, well, they're saying I need to do this, I need to do that. No, you don't need to do nothing the world tells you except, for us to live the right way and for us to trust God. And also to enjoy your life now. Don't wait until people say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it now. Don't wait until you retire. Do it now. Enjoy your life now. I have written a book called The Pastor of the Chair. And my subtitle is My Clients Are My Ministry. And in that book, I talk a lot about my journey from the beginning to, how far God has brought me. And in that book, I talk about starting from a little girl, that this was something that I enjoyed doing. And I had forgotten about those things, styling my doll's hair or dressing him up in nice clothes or playing with fake makeup or whatever. And in that book, I talk about at any age, you can fulfill your dreams. You can do whatever God has placed inside of you, because He will give you the strength and He will give you the necessary things and equipment that you need to succeed in whatever God or whatever you felt God put in your heart to do.
Betty's shop isn't just a business, it's a dream fulfilled, a legacy in motion, and a testament to unwavering faith. Welcome to this moment that belongs only to you. Let your shoulders soften, your breath deepen, your mind settle. Today, we're going to let your imagination wander into possibility, into the question that opens every dream. What if I could not fail? If you have a journal nearby, go ahead and open it. Turn to a fresh page, and at the top write these words slowly. If I could not fail, I would. Now, begin writing. Let the ideas come gently, without judgment, without pressure. Whatever comes to mind belongs on your list. Let your heart speak quietly. There is no right or wrong, just possibilities. Another thought may arrive. Let it land on the page. Good. Just breathe. Look back at your list slowly. Now, choose one dream. Not the biggest, not the most dramatic, just the one that speaks to you, even a little. Trust the dream that rises to the surface. Gently circle it on your page. Take a breath. This dream is whispering for a reason. See yourself moving toward it, one simple step at a time. Hold that image gently. Your dream is safe with you. Whisper to yourself, I can take one small step toward this today. As you close this moment, keep your dream nearby. Return to it, nurture it, whisper to it. And remember, dreams awaken when we do. Thank you for taking this quiet journey with me. Until next time.